Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Word podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. This is episode number 10. We finally made it to double-digit episodes. I appreciate you guys stopping by, tuning in, checking it out. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, maybe leave a comment or anything like that. It would really help out the channel and I would really appreciate it. It's been a little over a week now since I've done another episode. This last week was a tough one. I'm gonna kind of save what happened over this last week for another episode. Hopefully I'll get that going in the next couple of days, but I did just want to get another episode up and going, so that's what this one is. But I will save my experience from this past week for another episode, so be on the lookout for that. And before we get into anything, I do have these littles. I had my dad go to the dispensary for me and pick these up. It's just small little buds of some random indica flower. And I like that because it's pretty cheap. You get it for like $20 an eighth. And it's good flower, but it's just the small little nugs. I'm cool with that. I typically don't normally go to the dispensary. I usually like using this guy that I know. He usually has really good flour, really good wax, all that kind of stuff. But he lives a little far away, like probably 30, 45 minutes away. So I didn't want to have him come up for just like $40, $45 worth. Because that's all I can do right now. It's been a struggle with the income. But I'm doing what I have to do, so that's why I just got these littles, and I already got some ground up here in the grinder, so I'm gonna empty that and have a little smoke, and then we'll get into the episode. So yeah, I have no idea what this flower is. I just know it's indica, and we start out the day with some indica. I like it. I never mind it. I do like sativa. Indica's always kind of been my favorite, but we will get this going. Just packing this up. I do have a new lighter, so don't have to worry about that. And let's get it going. If you're smoking along, cheers. That's a nice way to start out the morning. That is for sure. So let's get into the episode. We will just pick up from Saturday. I got home, and like I said, I'll kind of explain everything that happened in a later episode within the next few days, hopefully. But I got home on Saturday, and was hanging out with the family. My brother came by, and we went to the store, got some stuff to pick up for to make some lunch, and my brother made these bomb nachos. It was really good, and family was just kind of hanging out. We were having a conversation about kind of what was going on and what happened, and It was a good conversation. I do believe that it was needed and necessary. Me and my mom have good communication, especially now, but I don't really get too deep or emotionally involved like with my brother or my dad. It's just harder to talk to them about those types of things. But this conversation on Saturday was kind of that. So it was needed. It was good. I'm glad it happened. I don't really like the situation of why it happened, but again, I will get into that in another episode. So yeah, we were just kind of hanging out, all just having a conversation, and then my mom left. My brother hung out for a little bit longer, and then UFC fights were starting. So threw that on, and my brother doesn't like watching UFC fights, so he left. And then I was watching some of those early prelim fights, and then the main card happened, and I saw Derek Lewis versus Latifi, and Lewis won by unanimous decision. And from my understanding, this was Latifi's first time at heavyweight. And I thought, in my opinion, I would have to watch it again. But I thought Latifi won. He basically out wrestled Lewis the entire fight. But for some reason, I mean, they were in Houston. That's where Derek Lewis is fighting out of, and all of that. So I understand if he didn't like get him out of there, it was gonna probably be a decision for Derek Lewis, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, again, I would have to watch it again, but Latifi kind of controlled the fight the entire time. Not much really happened. He just kind of, wrestled him to the cage, had control, and I thought that was taken into account, but I guess not. You never know with the judges, and that's kind of a theme throughout this card. But it is what it is. And honestly, after this fight, I was exhausted. I passed out for the next two fights. I don't even know who fought. I don't know the results or anything, but I did wake up like right in time for the Valentina Shevchenko versus Caitlin Chahukian. Sorry, completely butchered that name. But Shevchenko won by TKO in the third round. And I thought that was an exciting fight. I thought it was actually pretty well contested. And I wouldn't say evenly matched up, but she put up a good fight against Shevchenko. And, up until that third, and then she got the TKO. But man, and then just listening to Valentina Shevchenko in the post-fight interview and the post-fight press conference, she's just she handles everything with such class, and she could speak multiple languages, and it's fun to watch her and watch her interact with everybody. So that was cool. That was fun. And then we had the main event, John Jones and Dominic Reyes. John Jones won by decision. And initially, I thought Dominic Reyes won. I thought Dominic Reyes had 1, 2, 3 in the bag. And then, John Jones took 4 and 5. I know some people say the later rounds should mean more, but I don't understand that because each round is scored its own individual way. So no round should count more than another, especially if you're going off a point system. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It should all just go round by round. So that's um so that's my initial thoughts on it. I was like, oh man, not that it was a robbery because it was a great fight. Dominic Reyes just, you know, proved why he deserved that opportunity. And after first watch, I was like, yeah, he should have won. And then it took me a couple of days, and then I rewatched it more with an open mind. I mean, I know sometimes just watching it in the moment, you get caught up and excited for, oh, is this gonna happen? Is he gonna do it? So you kind of have this filter that, you know, something that Dominic Reyes was maybe doing more than he was. So I watched it again. I definitely had Dominic Reyes winning round one. And honestly, I thought two was a little bit harder to tell who won. I think people need to go back and rewatch it because round two was, I think, a little closer and tougher to tell. So you could have gave that one to John. Three, I thought, went to Dominic Reyes. Um, and that's the round people were saying was a little more close. I don't know. I watched it twice. I thought round one was Dominic. Two was John Jones, barely. Three was Dominic Reyes, and then 4 or 5 was John Jones. So I had to watch it again, and then it kind of flipped my view. So, but the 4-1 from one of the judges, no way. That's just ridiculous. Reyes definitely got 2 rounds for sure, and you could even argue he got that second round as well, so he could have 1, 2, and 3. But it is what it is. The judges are gonna judge, and the hot topic now is what's gonna happen. Are they gonna be able to implement a system to kind of fix this, and what can be done, because each state has its own commission and it's not a uniformed idea across the whole board. And I understand it doesn't seem like it can't be, or it doesn't seem like it can be that way. So it's interesting, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I know that is kind of the talk that's been going on right now is just what can be done about the judging situation. It's funny how it's taken till now for people to really start speaking up about it, but I know some people have been talking about it for a while, but on a mainstream level where like kind of everybody's talking about it, it's just funny that it's taken till now for it to really start to be a talking point, because the judging has always been a little bit off. So it was a good card from what I saw. Like I said, I completely fell asleep for like those 2 middle fights in there. But hey, I watched what I could. It was a tough week. It was a tough few days. So that Saturday I was just really drained, but I did want to watch what I could. So, I did that. And speaking of this, still staying in that combat sports realm, a couple weeks back, Jake Paul had his boxing match, and he won in the first round. I actually watched it. I threw it on streaming, and yeah, he TKO round 1. It was over. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up to kind of talk about the whole YouTube boxing thing. And I find it interesting. Like, I think it could be a thing, and I think it could. There is like a lane for it. There's these, these kids and people maybe a little bit younger than me, my age, around this, you know, that would like to watch that for entertainment, especially if they take it serious. Jake Paul definitely took it serious. He was in Big Bear doing training camp for a couple months, few months, something like that. And he took it really serious. And if these guys start to take it serious, but still have fun with it and make some money, I mean, why not? And they're YouTube personalities, so they have a following. They have that personality where they can make it work, sell tickets, and it's an interesting thing. They shouldn't be mixing it with like legitimate title contending fights. They should have it as its own thing, have like a YouTube card where it's 3-4 fights or whatever, and they just it's just an entertainment, but or it's still boxing or whatever. Maybe do a MMA card or a jiu-jitsu match or whatever it is, and just have that as its own thing, like a 3-4-5 matches just from the YouTube personalities or the celebrity realm or whatever, and then keep the legitimate boxing to legitimate boxing. But I do think there is a lane for it, and it's fun, and especially if they take it serious, and why not? Why not make some money? Boxing is great workout, and yeah, I think it'd be a cool thing to stick around for a while. I mean, it probably won't stick around for too long, because that's just how today's society kind of works, is just we're on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. But for right now, I think why not utilize it, and especially, like I keep saying, especially if they take it serious and like treat it like their job for a few months, and they clearly can make some money, because they're making these little like mini docu-series, and those are getting so many views when it drops, just because they know how to build up the hype. They know how to make good YouTube videos. So it seems like a win-win situation for everyone involved if they decide to take that path and do that. And that kind of leads me into the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury rematch. That's coming up. That's gonna be. I'm really looking forward to that boxing match. Their last fight was just insane. I mean, I know a lot of people thought Tyson Fury won, me included. And I'm not like too big of a boxing fan, but again, this goes to judging. This goes to, are we really scoring it round by round, or do the knockdowns matter more? Like, I really don't know. I thought it was all point based, but I could be wrong on that. I'm not the biggest fan of either of like mixed martial arts, UFC, or boxing to really know all the rules and how it's judged and all that. I just enjoy good fights and good matchups, honestly. Like, that's what I look for. And especially when I started training wrestling, and the couple jiu-jitsu classes I went to, and Muay Thai when I was there at 10th Planet in Oceanside. Um, that's where I really started to watch these fights as like more as more as a sport instead of a fight. And I was able to see technique and understand a little bit more of what was going on. Of course, these guys are at the highest level, but just being able to actually go to class and get some basic fundamentals and then watch these matchups and fights, it gave me a whole new perspective, and it was the best thing because I used to kind of get not squirmish or anything like that, but it used to be intense to me watching UFC fights and Bellator fights and all that. But once I started training again, I started just watching it with a different eye, and it made me appreciate it a lot more. Like these people are just putting their bodies on their lot. They're putting their body on the line, and it's just insane because a lot of these people take really really bad damage, and you know I couldn't do that. There's no way. I miss training. I miss going to the gym. When I am able to, I'm definitely going to be going back to the 10th Planet in Oceanside there. And yeah, but I can never do it like professionally. There's no way. I want it for just a good workout, learning, staying humble, and just having these skills. Not that I would ever want to, use them, but again, it's more for staying active and keeping your mind going and learning, because there's just so much to learn, and it's useful because if you ever do need it, you'll be able to use it and utilize it. So that's but again, okay, so yeah, I was talking about the Wilder and Fury rematch, and yeah, I'm really excited for this fight, this matchup, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I Both guys are really really good. Obviously undefeated, both of them with the one draw against each other. So it should be a great fight. Tyson Fury has been saying these wild things like he's gonna knock him out in like 2 rounds, something like that, and he's switched up a couple things in his training camp, and we will see how the fight turns out, and we know kind of what we get with Deontay Wilder. He's not the most technical, but he can just knock you out with just one punch and you are just done. And we thought we saw it in the first fight there in the 12th. Fury got hit, just laid out, and then he just did the Undertaker and sat back up. It was crazy. So it's an exciting fight. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, that's kind of all I can say about that. What else? So the XFL started. I wasn't really able to watch any of the games, but I did go and watch a couple of the game highlights and stuff. And there was a few names you recognize from the NFL that previously played in the NFL, and it looked like pretty good football. Not the cleanest, but still fun. I'm gonna definitely keep my eye open for it. Maybe watch a couple games, kind of see how it goes. And yeah, just this last weekend was pretty mentally draining, so it was hard for me to kind of keep up with a lot of things. But um, yeah, I'm excited to kind of see their product and see the new rules that they've implemented and how it kind of goes, and game flow, and if it is to a high a high elite level of competition. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for that. And hey, it's, people always said they wanted more football, and here it is. We had it last year with the AAF, but that kind of failed out hard. Seemed like there was a scam or something going on with that, and it seems like players still haven't got paid out, and if they got injured, it sounded like it was all coming out of pocket and all of that. But I think the XFL is going to be ran a little bit different, and I think they'll take care of their people the best way that they can. I don't think they're getting paid enough, from my understanding. I'd have to look that up, but these guys are taking a lot of hits and taking a lot of damage, and to not, hopefully they're getting compensated properly, whether it's with like insurance and good pay and just little incentives and things like that. I just hope these guys are getting compensated properly. But oh, so that's kind of what I had going on, what's been going on with me. Let's take another hit, and then we are close to getting done with this episode. Kind of flew by. Already close to 30 minutes. So let's get this going, pack that up. Again, if you're smoking along, cheers. Oh yeah. I haven't been smoking as much, so these two bong hits are gonna be nice and good for the day. So what else has been going on? Oh, I got the Chargers shirt on. It's actually a Phillip Rivers shirt. And yeah, that era is done. Man, Rivers is moving on, testing the free agent market, and we will see where he goes. I don't know what that's going to do for the Chargers. I don't know what that's going to do for me as a fan. It's going to be tough, man. Rivers has been a staple in the Chargers for quite a while, and he's been a great player, and ever since he started, he never missed a game. So for him, I just hope he kind of is able to get to a team and be a starter so he can kind of keep that streak going, and still just be able to perform at a high level. I do want him to be able to get his ring, man. He's definitely deserves it, and it's a bummer that the Chargers just weren't able to get it done. It seems like a few of those years, few of those seasons, they were right there to be able to do it, but they just couldn't get it done. They couldn't close things out, and yeah, it's a tough one. But hopefully, he can get to a team and maybe get that ring somewhere else. I'd be happy for him for sure. But the Chargers, man, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna keep Tyrod Taylor. They're gonna bring someone else in. If they're gonna draft someone and develop someone, who knows? But that is the Chargers for you. Yeah, it's a new era for them. We'll see. We'll see what direction they go in. Next season should be really interesting. So, yep, gotta rep the Chargers, Phillip Rivers, and yeah, that's kind of that is that. What else? What else? I don't think much else is going on. Just gotta stay active, keep at it, keep consistent with this, and yeah, appreciate everyone stopping by, still listening. I'll try and have another episode up within a couple of days explaining kind of what happened over this last week and go into more details about that. So again, I appreciate everybody tuning in, stopping by, listening. Thank you. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. And until next time, everybody, peace.